coming to you, Paul. You write on your blog, although it's called Newspaper Death Watch, pretty regularly you point out that the death of newspapers and printing has been heralded before. Are we really in a different spot than ever before?
Well, it's happening, the spiral is happening at a much faster rate than has happened before, and that I think anybody really anticipated even 2 or 3 years ago. It's kind of a perfect storm of factors that have come to bear that are weighing on newspapers right now. But there were signs as early as the 1970s that the demographics of the audience were changing. The newspapers were not keeping track with the people they needed to reach, the younger people they needed to reach. And as was mentioned earlier, the consolidation and laying off of journalists that's been going on for 10 years is really a self-fulfilling prophecy. The worse the quality of the product gets, the faster the death spiral continues.
So some people might say, well, then why are we weeping any tears for an industry that's gotten so bad? Paul?
I would just ask that same thing. Why are we weeping tears? I mean, this is over. The game is over. Newspapers are a declining industry. Probably very few will be left in 10 or 15 years. And I think that I'd like to see us move on to the topic of how we reinvent journalism, of how we keep the best of what newspapers have provided us and take advantage of some of the new technologies that are enabling millions of people to essentially become street-level journalists.
But, John, you say don't let them die. In fact, give them a government bailout, $60 billion over the next 3 years. Why?
Sure, and I don't in any way disagree with Paul. There's not an inch of difference between us.
I hear a difference.
What?
I hear a difference, but keep going.
Actually not, because we favor, Bob and I, and we've been dealing. Actually, the funny thing is, we did say this was coming 10 years ago. This was completely foreseeable, not because of the internet and not because of new ways of gathering information or anything like that, but because of the corporate structures that have been put in place.
The quality questions that Paul was describing.
We were heading. Well, yeah, that was exactly it. Remember, this press system, this media system that we have, didn't give people the information or cause the outcry necessary to prevent the theft of the presidency in 2000 or the entry into an illegal and immoral war in 2003. So we have a failed media system in this country. There's no doubt of that. And there's also no evidence whatsoever that the internet or any other cable television, anything like that, is stepping in to solve the problem. So Paul's exactly right. We have to look for the ways to create a new and better media system. But I will tell you this. If we simply stand back and allow the death of the daily newspaper and its newsrooms, remember the essential thing being the newsroom, in communities across this country, we will not see that void filled by another institution. There's no evidence whatsoever to suggest that will happen. What we will see is a official propaganda model at the local, regional, and increasingly national level. The national will be the last to go. That will be incredibly destructive to free discourse and popular democracy.